K-Tall everybody, and welcome back to Splattercat's 11th episode of Let's Play Tropico 4. Also acting as a bit of a walkthrough, a bit of a playthrough. If you've made it this far with me, I want to thank you. It takes a lot of time to watch all these videos in succession. Where we left off, I had built the roads for my touristy area, and we were concerning ourselves with just kind of getting this built up over here, but we ran out of money. So what I'm going to do is we have a freighter coming in. We're going to get about... well, we'll see what happens when this truck hits. These blue trucks tend to give a lot of money. So we're going to get about $30,000, which is going to keep us in a situation where we can continue to build down here. So what I would like to do, let's see here, is I'm going to enact the building permit. And what that does is it lowers your respect with your people a little bit. But in return, you begin skimming off the top and getting free money for your Swiss bank account, which is actually, that's part of the scoring of this game, is how much money can you make off of your people before they vote you out of office. Now, the chances of us being voted out are pretty low at the moment. We're doing really well. We're actually keeping people happy. We're doing really well with our factions. If we look at our people papers here, our factions are more or less happy except for the environmentalists, and they make up such a fraction of our overall population that we really just don't care about them. The communists and the intellectuals are the only ones that we really care about. So we've got kind of a liberal society here in that basically intellectuals and communists are pretty much, we're a very, very left-wing society. So that being the case, we're going to want to cater to those people. We're going to focus on a lot of social reforms. We're going to focus on as many things being free as possible. But for now, El Presidente's got to look out for himself so that when he has to retreat to Bern or Geneva or flee to the Vatican, we've got plenty of money to spend. Because if you're going to be the king of a country here, you can't be a peasant when you come out the other end if something goes wrong. Now, we do have money to spend, and what I would like to do is looking at what people don't like. It looks like entertainment is a little low, housing quality is a little low, and job quality is a little low. Job quality is not something that we have the monetary flow through to deal with right now, because job quality would require us to start paying people more for doing less, and that's not something I'm in the business of doing at the moment. Now, housing quality we can do something about. We're not using much of our power grid at the moment, so what we can do is we can go through, and I'll just close that out, and down here we can install climate control in all of our buildings for $1,000 each. Even our low-class buildings can have air conditioning. So we're going to go through and do that, and that's going to help us out substantially. That 15 points on each of these buildings is going to raise us up tremendously. So, we don't need to pay attention to our power usage just yet. But that's a feature that I think a lot of people are going to get behind. You can look at the amount of power you're using at any time by clicking on your power station here, and we're using 25 megawatts at the moment, where we've got 200 megawatts available, so we've got plenty of power to go around. We haven't even really tapped into it yet. Usually entertainment buildings tend to be the ones that cost the most here, and that's the next need that I'm going to go after and chase down. I'm going to go with entertainment, so I'm going to build myself a nightclub here on the corner. And we're just going to stripper it up a little bit. We're going to get a little bit of sleaze in our culture. So, what was I doing? There we are. I lost my train of thought. My train of thought completely, it hit a penny on the rails and just went crazy. I'm also going to go ahead and build a movie theater up here. Now, I'm noticing some shanties, so we're probably going to want to build a bit more housing as well.
Sir, this is unacceptable. The next island has a bigger army than ours.
So it looks like he wants us to build up the army size. We're going to go ahead and deny that because we just allocated him spending and funding for a huge military base here. So we don't know what he's doing. I think he's just getting a little... I think he's getting a little antsy. He's getting ambitious. He's thinking that El Presidente likes his army, and El Presidente does, but right now we don't really need it. What is this guy doing?
No me interesa.
A shopkeeper is living on my military base. Why is there a shopkeeper living on my military base? That's gotta be a bug. There's a farmer living on my military base. Huh. Maybe it's the draft.
Presidente, Europe has taken serious antitrust measures against several American companies. The U.S. has responded by setting duty fares for European commodities.
Well, I'm gonna have to go ahead, and since the U.S. gives us money, and the U.S. is also the most powerful nation on the planet, I'm gonna have to go ahead and piss off an entire continent. So, sorry, Europe. You're just gonna have to deal for a little bit. We do need to deal with this shanty situation here. This shanty situation is displeasing, but I don't have the money to build anything at the moment. A lot of this game is kind of sitting around waiting, but this next cartload of goods is going to be huge. We're going to get probably 40 grand out of this one. Well, maybe not. The freighter's right there. But that's going to give us a little more space to start, a little more wiggle room in terms of making some money. Hopefully that wasn't my last dock worker that just left. That would be deeply, deeply... Why are you all leaving work when the... Oh my god. Why... No! Alright, so... Apparently all of our dock workers decided to just take the day off the moment a ship got to port. I'm really glad that I didn't decide to build a tenement, because we would be hurting, but hopefully this guy comes to work and loads everything up. And there we are, 2 more truckloads of goods, and we are just going to make all kinds of money. We have $55,000 to play with right now, which just makes me happy as a clam.
The good, God-fearing U.S. citizens like your goods. I don't know why, and I don't care. All I know is that you are going to sell us more of them.
We already have that mission, but I guess we'll take it twice. I'm thinking with all this money, I'm going to go with industry. And I am thinking for once. Now we could increase our imports, and we could just build a cigar factory, and we could use imports to fuel that. Or we could just make a chemical plant, which is what I'm thinking we're gonna do. I want to have a nice, just ugly hill up here where it's just smoke and misery, and it just kind of looks like... well, never mind. There are cities around where I live that I was about to plug, but I'm just gonna leave it alone and be a nice guy. I don't want to put anybody on the spot like that. Now we do need to deal with housing up here. Our farmers seem to be having a housing issue.
Presidente, the environmentalists are starting eco-protests. May I suggest some repressive action in good old Tropican tradition?
Oh, Penultimo, you tempt me with the threat of the truncheon and the billy club. But we don't want any crazy V for Vendetta shit going down in our society, so we're gonna go ahead, and that's the last thing I need is crazy Guy Fawkes dudes running around throwing knives at me. So that would definitely put a downer on the El Presidente gig. I'm gonna go ahead and we are gonna, let's see, infrastructure I think is what I'm looking for. We are going to start trying to make the environmentalists a little happier. It's already ugly up on this hill, so we're gonna spend some money putting in another garbage dump. Hopefully that will pacify them, because I know they are just irritated with me right now. Militarists are telling me the army is insufficient, which is weird, because we just built them a military base 2 episodes ago. But I guess they're trying to increase their budget, so we have lots of money coming in. And down here, I'm thinking I want to do something touristy too. Let me look at my budgetary report. We still got 21 grand to burn through. If you're ever concerned about how much money you have, what your overhead is, you can look right here, and if you've got a positive number right here under total balance, that's how much money you can more or less spend without any issues. You may want to leave about 5,000 just to be safe because things come up, but it's all doable. Now, we have blimp rides? What? That's new in Tropico 4. I'm excited. I'm getting a blimp ride, dude. I've always wanted a blimp. Get some Goodyear action up in here. I am legitimately excited about the fact that I can have a blimp. Like, dirigibles are something that I feel very strongly about. We need to bring those back. Never mind the fact that they explode and kill everybody on board. So do airplanes. The dirigible is just super awesome, and the steampunk, cyberpunk side of me just wants dirigibles everywhere in the sky. Looks like we got sheep and goats and... Are those tapirs? Huh. Apparently we have tapirs. I was unaware that our island was a native habitat for tapirs. I thought it was a bear for a minute. I was like, our tourists better look out. They may suffer from bear attacks here. Come to Tropico and get mauled by bears. But I am liking our situation right now. I'm feeling like we should be able to start bringing in revenue from all this. Hopefully, are these breaking even at the moment? They are. Fantastic. These are all bringing in revenue. These are all making money. And I do like money. So what I'm going to do, since our tourist attractions are doing really well over here, I'm going to continue just building tourist attractions, to be honest. An airport would get us more people, but that would be playing it a little close to the chest at the moment. I don't want to spend that much money. What I will do is put in another bar, because you can never go wrong with bars. We'll space it out a little bit so they aren't competing directly with this bar. You gotta go a little bit further out to get to that one. We're gonna go to landmarks and beauty. And we're just gonna put a nice little garden behind here. There we are. And I don't know if we need to put in housing for the workers who live over here, if they can just commute. We'll wait and see if shacks start popping up. If shacks start popping up, oh wow, we have $60,000. To continue my thought, if shacks start popping up, we'll take care of business in that regard. But right now, we gotta spend some money, guys. Our pockets are full of cash, and we are just gonna make it rain. We are just gonna drop dead presidents. And I am not gonna finish that metaphor. Actually, it would have been a simile, but I'm not gonna finish that. I am not gonna finish that simile. I'm gonna let that one hang in the air for a bit. Because my dark side is taking over here. My dark sense of humor. Let's see. Honestly, we can afford luxury hotels right now. So I'm thinking... I am thinking we can afford a skyscraper. We can afford an airport. We have enough money right now for big things, which is really giving me pause. So I'm going to pause the game for a moment. I'm just going to kind of run through and look at some of these big expensive things that I want. So, an Academy of Science. It creates a clone of El Presidente. I don't know. He might try and take over. I'm paranoid. A clone might try to take over my job. Let's see. A stock exchange definitely seems... Let's go ahead and build a bank. I actually think we should go ahead and get a banking industry running. So, I'm going to use some of this ugly dead space over here. We're going to build a bank right next to the church so that you can get drunk, go reprint, tithe, and then the priest can go take your money to the bank right here. It's all a perfect little circle. And then... it looks like we have some shacks popping up, so I am going to get some more housing going. And I think I'm going to go with apartment blocks, because I've got the price down pretty low on my apartment blocks. We'll go ahead and build 2 apartment blocks. We'll just spend money. We'll have money coming out our ears right now. And then we have more shacks up here, but I think I'm going to save the rest of my money to upgrade a lot of my... Oh no, eco-protests. No! So I'm going to upgrade my lumber mill with the sawdust burner to lower its pollution by half. I'm going to do the power saw and the log debarker, which is going to increase our production like mad from right there. This is a win-win for us, aside from the pecuniary disadvantage of losing money. It cost us about probably 10 Gs to take care of that, 6 Gs I think. That's fine. We need to get rid of these eco-protests, because without these logs, we are losing money. So we need to get these guys out of here and just out of our faces.
Peace and love, Presidente. My fellow environmentalists have stopped the eco-protests.
And there we go. We fixed the problem. We have fixed the problem because El Presidente is a problem solver. Remember to upgrade whenever you build a junkyard. You really want to take care of business here. I am going to swap over to recycling for both of these, because I'd like to be ahead of the curve. It's 1972 and we're probably the only country on earth that's just recycling like crazy. There's a lot of pollution down here, and I really don't want to build a garbage dump down here. I really don't. Hopefully in the future we'll come up with different ways to manage that.
Morning, Presidente. Do you remember the promise you made last night during our tutoring session?
Oh dear. Well, Miss Pineapple, if there's one thing you can say about Miss Pineapple, she knows how to get a job done. I think I don't really want to build a new college, so I'm going to dismiss that one. We don't need intellectual respect at the moment. Intellectuals are happy. We're working on other needs. We're trying to keep everything high, and for a game where the settings are we're at 160% difficulty right now, we are doing fantastically. This is the 11th episode of this Let's Play, and if you've stuck with me the whole time, thank you so much. My name is Splattercat. I'm reasonably new to the LP genre, and I really am trying to grow the channel, so if you enjoy what I'm doing here, please consider liking, share it with your friends, let everybody know. If you have any suggestions for how I can make the channel better, or if you have any expertise in this regard, throw it down in the comments or shoot me a PM and I'll do my best to respond as quickly as possible. I'll see you next time, guys.